This episode is brought to you by Kia's first 3-row all-electric SUV, the Kia EV9, with available all-wheel drive and seating for up to 7 adults, with a 0 to 60 speed that thrills you 1 minute and available reclining lounge seats that unwind you the next. Visit kia.com/EV9 to learn more. Ask your Kia dealer for availability. No system, no matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver error and or driving conditions. Always drive safely.
I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day, to the things I wish would die, like buffets. All that and much more. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day, and that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
I mean, you're not much of a baseball guy, are you?
I'll watch a little World Series action.
Okay. So a week out of the year, you're in. Like opening day doesn't do anything for you?
He's Mr. October.
No, opening day definitely doesn't do anything.
Oh man, I love opening day baseball.
It's like the only. Well, I don't know. I guess every sport kind of makes a big deal out of it, but I feel like opening day means so much more in baseball than it does in any other sport.
Yeah, it's like, hey, here we go. Here's one of 162.
Yeah, especially like considering how many games there are. Like, come on, man, I can't.
See
get
that? That's what I like about it. I like jumping in, and then like I just can then ignore it. Like that opening day, I always like I'm in. I'll watch every game I can find on TV. Like I'll just have it in the background. I'm in, and then I'm like, I'll see you guys in like late July, at the earliest.
Do you want to hear something funny? I was struggling to find out why the fuck is Zach talking about baseball? Like the weird small talk to start the podcast with.
Your picks have been horrible, man.
It's the point. It's the point of the show. Isn't it? Isn't it? It's possible. I don't understand what this podcast is about.
Poppycock.
It's a fuck house.
On a weekly basis, we are consuming more concentrated bad movies than probably anybody in the history of mankind.
Poppycock. What story? What story? What are you talking about?
Do you want lunch?
I have yet to laugh in this movie. I'll just tell you that.
You picked it, motherfucker. So just remember that.
You know the problem with Hollywood is? They make shit. Unbelievable, unremarkable shit.
I was legitimately offended.
You were offended?
I was offended.
I didn't know you could get offended.
I was offended.
This did it.
If I were gay, I wouldn't be offended.
They're fucking making shit up, I mean.
Inconsequential detail after inconsequential detail after inconsequential detail.
Bees don't lie.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm holding a mic in my hands, and now I'm talking all alone.
Welcome to Cinephobe, the podcast where we break down the movies you're afraid to admit you love. I'm Zach Harper, that's Amin and that's Anthony Mayes. If you have a submission, reminder, it needs to be 40% or lower on Rotten Tomatoes for the audience score or the critic score. This week on Cinephobe, we watch the 1996 action sports drama, The Fan.
Well, it's action sports drama, because action sports drama makes it sound like most extreme primate.
I had sports psychological thriller. How are our genres so different every
It's
time?
a great question. It's a great question.
I think
we're both
Mayes
using the
always has
same
better
internet,
ones.
right?
Yeah, I'm going off of what IMDb says.
I'm going off of Wikipedia, so there we go.
Oh.
I like
That can be edited.
Mays historically has been better. Like his descriptors sound like a better description of the movies. Yours have been off. Like action sports drama, like I said, makes it sound like they're on rollerblades at the X Games and someone's gonna die.
Ooh, that would not be a bad Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
I think it is. I'm not mistaken. I think it already is.
I think you're thinking of what was it, Sudden Death?
That was hockey.
Yes, but they are on
Excellent.
skates.
Excellent concept for a movie, by the way.
It's an incredible concept for a movie. Does that qualify?
I think it does because I remember thinking we might do it for Mad Dog Sports.
Oh, that's right. I'm looking it up right now. That put me down for a file.
This one would have been a perfect Mad Dog Sports.
Ooh, 39% in the audience score.
Just makes it.
Just makes it. Oh my God. There's a fight scene in the kitchen with the mask. It's amazing. What a great movie. But The Fan is a different sports action drama. The Fan stars Wesley Snipes and Robert De Niro.
Bobby D.
I feel like my notes are going to be extremely confusing for me because Wesley Snipes' name in this movie is Bobby.
Very problematic for me as well. Had to switch to Gil.
Yeah, Gil, or sometimes Curly. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Snipes was in the era where he was printing money and not paying taxes. He was coming off the run of Rising Sun, Demolition Man, Sugar Hill, Drop Zone, To Wong Fu, Money Train, Waiting to Exhale, and he had Murder at 1600 coming out in 1997.
I mean, that is as strong of a string of movies you can have for anyone's career ever.
Absolutely. Bobby De Niro had Heat and Casino in 1995, and he'd have Sleepers in 1997.
That's also a pretty fucking good string.
Not bad. It is not bad. We get Ellen Barkin, who you know from Ocean's 13, Sea of Love, and she follows me on Twitter. John Leguizamo, who was also in To Wong Fu in 1995. He had Executive Decision in 1996 and Romeo and Juliet in 1996 as well. And we get Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
It's Juan Primo. He was coming off The Usual Suspects in 1995.
I mean, that's a pretty strong fucking cast.
It's a great cast. It is a great cast. And, I mean, the director, Tony Scott is director of The Fan. You know him from directing Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Days of Thunder, The Last Boy Scout, Enemy of the State, Man on Fire. His last directing job was Unstoppable, which is a train movie.
Actually, I know him from Killing Himself. And for being Ridley Scott's brother. Too soon? Okay.
You couldn't just stop at the first.
Just Killing Himself? Yeah, I know. I had to rub it in that he's Ridley Scott's brother. What an asshole I am.
If tax problems for Wesley Snipes in the 90s is too soon in 2020, Tony Scott killing himself probably also too soon.
Do you know how he killed himself?
All right. I don't. The first thing that came to mind was autoerotic asphyxiation.
No, that was David Carradine.
Well,
in which case, he didn't actually kill himself. He accidentally killed himself. No, Tony Scott jumped off a bridge.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a
tough
intense. That's an intense way to go. Yeah.
Now, do you think it's? Oh man, this is dark. Do you think that's a freeing feeling as you jump? Because I remember when I went skydiving. As soon as I was out of the plane, I felt all this like just emotion let out, and it doesn't feel real when you're just falling, but you're very obviously I was much higher up than he was.
It's not a good measuring contest.
And I had a parachute with a person attached to me, right? And so I remember thinking it's very freeing. I wonder if you jump off a bridge, if there is that moment of clarity or a moment of like, I wish I hadn't done this.
I think because there is no parachute, I think the instant reaction is like, oh shit, I changed my mind. I think, nobody wants to die, man. People act like it. People might even believe it, but there's always a moment right when it's about to happen when you realize I don't want to do this.
So here's the thing. It's funny you bring that up because earlier today, Aaron made me lunch. Aaron made me lunch, and
then you try to kill yourself.
And it was so good. I tried to kill myself. And as I was sitting down at the table, she said, "No, sit over here. That's yours." And I was like, "Oh, did you poison the food?" Dumb little joke. And she said, "Yeah." And then I said, "Good." And she said, "Oh, you want to die?" And I said, "I'm not opposed to it." So I wonder if I had eaten that food and it was poisoned.
Yeah, then you would have tried to spit it up.
Yeah, that's exactly. Thank you, Mace.
I don't know.
Like the moment it starts
when you're falling off a bridge, you panic and you probably have regret.
Okay, I don't want to make light of jumping off a bridge to kill yourself, but
to start the show, by the way.
But now, if you were gonna do it, but you wanted it to sort of look like an accident, would you have a parachute on you?
No.
And just never pull it?
Dude, I don't think parachutes are cheap.
Let me
what? Yeah, you're going to be in debt when you're dead. It's going to suck.
No, I mean, look, I guess the last thing you want to do is chicken out, pull the ripcord, and then realize, shit, now I got to pay this credit card bill.
So the National Parachute 425 Premium B2 backed by Aircraft Spruce is $2,500, but free shipping.
I'm telling you. Did they drop it by a parachute?
Be so meta if they did.
By the way, Tony Scott or Ridley Scott? Better career?
I mean, I don't know. Tony Scott's got some bangers.
I think Tony Scott is better, but Ridley Scott has the bigger name movies. Like Alien, Gladiator. Like both of those are probably bigger than anything Tony Scott did. Yeah, Blade Runner.
Scout?
Thelma and Louise.
Man, I don't know.
I think I like Tony Scott's movies better.
Wow.
I think you need to rethink how you giving Ridley the short end of the stick here. Why? Because he didn't kill himself? Now his movies aren't as good? American Gangster?
I like Tony Scott's style better. Because he's got a very distinct style, which we will talk about. I mean,
this movie does have a very distinct style. It was also based on a book by Peter Abrams.
Peter Abrams has now written 14 canine detective mysteries.
Whoa. What do you mean canine detective mysteries?
So how many main character is a dog.
Now, are we talking a Rin Tin Tin situation or like a Mr. Ed situation?
The narrator is the narrator.
The dog's narrating?
Yes.
Woof.
This movie's definitely getting made.
The Chet and Bernie mystery series. Stories are told from the point of view of Chet, Bernie Little's canine partner.
I was gonna say Ridley Scott has an advantage over Tony Scott in that he's still alive, so he still gets to make movies. And then I've seen the movies he's made since the death of his brother.
Oh God,
Zach, I'm really shocked you
Gods
weren't
and Kings.
Consulted on some of the titles of the Chet and Bernie mysteries.
What do we got?
We got Of Mutts and Men.
Oh, that's good.
We got Heart of Barkness.
I like it.
And Sensibility. Tale of Vengeance. Yes, that's a T-A-I-L. Paw and Order.
Order's good.
The Sound and the Furry. A Fistful of Collars.
Okay, now I'm back in.
And Dog on It. That's the first one. Dog on It.
I mean, do you remember that Twitter moment where there was a young black couple who had taken a picture and they were like kind of dressed like cowboys? Do you remember this?
No.
Oh, this was years ago. But everyone like kind of just started roasting their picture. And one of the tweets I had was Fistful of Hollas. I thought that was good. Fistful of Collars just made me think of that. What if you had a cowboy movie with a Jewish cowboy called Fistful of Challah?
I don't feel comfortable commenting.
Screenplay written by Phoef Sutton? P-H-O-E-F. Phoef Sutton?
Yeah.
Phoef wrote 23 episodes of Cheers, 19 episodes of Bob, and Mrs. Winterbourne starring Ricky Lake.
Is this fat Ricky Lake or skinny Ricky Lake?
We're not body shaming Ricky Lake.
I'm not shaming. I'm just asking, is this when she was fat or when she was skinny?
I would imagine when she was on the heavier side.
What year was it?
It's a great question.
I could tell you exactly. I know Ricky Lake's.
And I'll look.
I know Ricky Lake's weight based on the year because remember she got fat again. That was the other thing.
Oh, what a weird wheelhouse of 1996.
Oh, that's prime skinny Ricky Lake.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, she's got a real jawline in this movie poster.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means like she was probably skinny. Like she had a jawline. She didn't really have a great jawline when she was heavier.
Wow.
You're the one that called her Fat Ricky Lake. So I don't think you get to back me into a corner here. Synopsis for that didn't make any sense within the context.
Isn't that a fine? How do you do?
Synopsis.
I said, isn't that a fine? How do you do?
Synopsis for the fan: an all-star baseball player becomes the unhealthy focus of a down-on-his-luck salesman.
That's pretty accurate.
Tagline: all baseball fans have a favorite player. This one has a favorite target.
I thought you were going to say all baseball fans go to hell, which is my forthcoming novel.
Other taglines: fear strikes soon. Or there's another one: fear strikes.
No.
And then last one: baseball's $40 million man has always treated the game like a matter of life and death. This time, it really is.
Has he already always treated it like a matter of life and death?
No, I don't think so. It didn't seem like it. It seemed like he wanted to be a perfectionist, right?
But I never caught life or death.
No
vibes off of him.
No, I didn't either. All right, $55 million estimated budget.
What?
Grossed $18.6 million U.S. and worldwide. Flop.
Yeah, like baseball movies ain't gonna do well in China and the Middle East, bro. Sorry to say.
Well, Japan it might. Korea it might.
I mean, I'm surprised. This seems like a movie that would, attract, like the names attached seems like it would attract enough to make their money back. But there you go.
I remember being all about it, but I was also a huge Wesley Snipes guy back then.
Guess there weren't enough of those.
You're not anymore?
I still am. I'm not as excited now when he comes out with something as I used to be.
You're terrible. Let me tell you something. If I told you I got him in 95 when this movie came out?
96.
96. I tell you I got a movie that's got Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes, and directed by Tony Scott. You don't need to tell me anything else. That's greenlit. That is green light, ultraviolet green light.
Yeah.
I blame the people for not appreciating this movie more.
Okay. Well,
right.
If you want to watch it before listening to the rest of this podcast, The Fan is a rental. Now, is it a rental war still?
Is it a rental battle?
Rental battle, maybe? Okay. The Fan receives 37% from critics on 30 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and 34% from the audience on over 39,000 ratings. Not a lot of people have seen this.
Also, audience, what?
That was what shocked me. I don't know. I mean, you want the positive or the negative reviews?
Glass half full kind of guy, Zach, so give me the positives.
Wow, everybody's just thinking about the negative. Well, I think the glass is half full. Everybody thinks it's half empty.
Ed Travis of Synapse.
Synapse.
Tony Scott's energetic direction is the outstanding element of The Fan. The guy just makes this otherwise standard fare really pop.
I'm going to disagree.
Chuck O'Leary of Fantastica Daily.
Slick. Every day.
This slick, extremely gripping thriller is 3/4 an excellent movie that only falls apart during a tense but ultimately ridiculous finale.
Yeah.
The finale was very drawn out, without no explanation.
I mean, there's a lot of subtext. Caffeinated Clint of Movie Hole.
Oh, this jerk off.
A home run for the thriller genre. De Niro in top form.
Fuck you, Clint.
Frederick and Marianne Broussat of Spirituality and Practice.
What?
Hold on.
Wait, was that a couple?
It's a married couple doing
on
movie
a spirituality website that just randomly has some movie reviews. We might have a new Tony Medley.
Yeah,
they're not that good. They're not that interesting, but it's just odd.
But like a spirituality website, they decided to review The Fan.
Mesmerizing film about the soul-killing dimensions of perfectionism.
Okay.
Hold on.
What a slant! What a slant on that.
Subtext.
They're blaming Wesley Snipes. How is this Bobby Rayburn's fault? By the way, Bobby Rayburn sounded so much like a real name that I had to Google and make sure that this wasn't based on a true story.
Wait, is this a Fanatic situation where they throw the quote out from Devon Sawa's character and I had to look up who that was because I thought it was a real person?
I really did Google Bobby Rayburn just to make sure.
Michael Dakina of themoviereport.com.
Oh.
An entertaining piece of work, if not the most original.
That's pretty accurate, I would say.
Entertainment Weekly, no author. Yes, folks, someone has finally made a movie about a door-to-door knife salesman. As soon as we see Gil fondling those gleaming silver weapons, each photographed in eroticized close-up, we know the fan is going to be a kind of ominous joke, a countdown to the moment when Gil stops selling his knives and starts using them. It's definitely
it doesn't sound like a positive.
Yeah, definitely a different slant on this movie. And then we've got 2 user reviews. User Garrett D gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Although a bit too over the top, the fan is intense when it needs to be, and the characters' chemistry plays off each other pretty well. The score to this movie is extremely ill-fitting, trying to force a 9 Inch Nails track at any chance it can, and can completely derail a scene at times.
There is very mid-90s, by the way, the music.
Yeah, it did. And there is a scene towards the end where it is just an odd song choice.
That, and also whenever he's listening to music in the car and trying to have a conversation, like, I'm glad that Wesley Snipes at some point tells him to turn it down, because I wanted to say that several times. Like, turn the fucking music down.
Well,
okay.
One more user review. User Chris G gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Love this film, and De Niro's acting is fantastic. Almost Scorsese-esque with the Rolling Stones in the soundtrack too.
I didn't know other people were allowed to do that, honestly.
I didn't either. Yeah, it's a lot of Stones in that one.
Yeah.
All right, negative reviews.
At this point of time, my thought on critics not liking stuff is, then turn it off, you fucking weirdo. You have so many options. People who watch an entire project to hate on it, man, it is so weird to me.
David Anson of Newsweek. What's disingenuous about Scott's movie is that it pretends to have something to say about an all too familiar syndrome.
It does, though. Hold on. It does. Wait, what's the syndrome?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Wait, also, back into another corner?
Yeah, Ridley Scott made G.I. Jane.
File.
I don't know if you guys knew that.
File. You kidding me?
Yeah, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, I mean?
Tank top? I'm in.
Striptease, future cinephobe.
Quentin Curtis of Daily Telegraph, UK. Scott, as ever, drowns the still, sad music of humanity in an oratorio of style. The screeching soundtrack never relents, and the heavily top-lit images, sometimes using garish tints and slow motion, flash at us with all the feeling of a rock video.
I get it. You don't like baseball because you're from another country.
Tim Brayton of Antagony and Ecstasy.
What?
I don't know.
Oh, my God. We're just letting everybody into the Rotten Tomatoes.
It only had 30 reviews.
I know.
Got to. A roughly assembled mean movie. Flashes of solid genre of filmmaking keep it from being a wash, but it's really not much fun at all. Fuck you, Braden. All right, Ryan Cracknell of Movie Views. A film with lots of great ideas, yet none of them come to fruition. Bob Bloom of Journal and Courier in Lafayette, Indiana. Strike 3, you're out. A stinker that should have been postponed because of inept filmmaking.
Inept?
These people have a lot of nerve.
They do have a lot of nerve. An excessive amount of nerve, I would say. USA Today, no author. An awful but watchable baseball movie until it degenerates into an all-out howler. I don't understand what that means.
Howler.
And then 2 user reviews. User Kenny N, 1 out of 5 stars. This is a truly bizarre one. It's supposed to fall under the psychological thriller genre, but the soundtrack keeps wanting to pull the story into the erotic thriller genre. Mostly in its usage of the song Closer by Nine Inch Nails, the unsexiest song ever written about sex. That's adding a whole new layer to this movie. Am I reading too much into this? Probably, but I need something to do to stay awake during this bore fest.
That dude got a weird boner. Didn't? He blamed it on 9 Inch Nails.
And then user George M, 2 out of 5 stars. 2 bags, because you got De Niro and Snipes. I actually thought Snipes was real good in this movie. I'd make some joke about how Snipes actually has dramatic skills he could use in Interview with Blade, but I'm burned out on watching all these movies. Like Snipes and the Fan, I realize that there's just more to life than all this. Snipes stopped caring about baseball, and I'm caring less about movies. I want to set the Guinness record for watching a bunch of movies, but I just have watched so many bad movies that I've stared too far into the abyss, and the abyss has stared back. George,
Coward.
Come on,
this is what we do. We stare into the abyss, baby. Still going strong.
You gotta lean into it. Be a bitch about it, George M. All right, Amin, first note.
First note is... Wow, it's been a while since I... Oh, here we go. Star-studded cast, but I can do without the poem. And then also, I said, Hans Zimmer. Damn, they spent money. Hans Zimmer did the soundtrack.
Yeah, I think that's where most of the budget went, is like they skimped on writer, but other than that, they dropped top dollar for the cast.
Falf's got some bona fides. Mrs. Winterbourne.
Let's get one of the Cheers writers. Which one? Fief?
Hold on. Do you think Falf has ever propositioned a woman by asking if she wants some Falf in her mouth? Better question. If your name was Falf, would you ever proposition a woman by asking her if she wants some Falf in her mouth? And if you want to get real complex, would you ever say you want some Falf in your south mouth? Top it off.
Is your south mouth your asshole or your vagina?
It's the vagina.
Okay. Then what would your asshole be?
Your asshole? For me, it would be my Alf mouth. Nothing go in. It's just Alf.
It sounds like you're saying Alf.
My Alf mouth.
I'm thinking, man, I wish we had an ad for Manscaped right now.
Yeah. And by the way, Alf wants to eat pussy.
What?
Yeah, remember Alf eats cats.
Yeah, but how would your asshole eat a vagina?
It's 2020.
It's like a docking situation?
A little bit. You scissors? You never do scissoring?
No, I mean, I have not done scissoring before.
You go backward. You turn. I'm trying to imagine.
So what would that be? Left-handed scissoring? I like the idea. Hold on. Let's explore this.
Imagine your anus up against the...
No, just lay in front of you, and you turn around and start backing up into her.
Alpha's hungry.
Melmac.
Right.
All right.
I said I can also do without the shut up and dribble poetry.
Yeah. My first note was, where the fuck did that tiger come from for that Mandalay Entertainment logo? nowhere.
Were you high when you watched this?
A little bit. I was getting higher as the movie progressed. We got old. I wrote the note. Old baseball photos just feel racist. I don't know why. But anytime I see a black and white baseball photo, I just think racism. Do we want to throw this poem in there, Mayes?
It's too late. It's too long.
It's too long. The line that I latched onto was, the fan is the one that pays for the game.
Because most of it is about how baseball is great and how everyone get better, and I was once a player. And then at a point, he really starts saying about he's like, the fan is the one, and these players are spoiled now, and shut up and dribble, and we don't care about politics, and Colin Kaepernick wasn't that good, and LeBron is overrated and could never be as good as Jordan. And I was like, I don't need to.
Yeah, I can't believe De Niro fit all that in '96. LeBron must have been what, 9?
No, older than that. 12. 11 or 12.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, he wants to jacket at opening day, and he says his boy is young and awkward for now. I got a couple of notes of you got to wrap this shit up, Bobby. It's a lot. And yeah, final line was, I grow tired now of all this greed, chart a course to set things free. It was a 3-minute poem about stick to sports. Then I wrote ultimate movie trailer song, but I can't remember what song it was.
Sympathy for the Devil.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. That does feel like if that song is in a trailer, I'm in. I will go watch that movie.
It's is Under Pressure the most used song in movie trailer history? I feel like anytime dun, 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 they love going dun, 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 and that's how they ended. They ended on that piano key right there. This Christmas. Dun, dun, dun.
Gil is driving his van to work. It's decked out in Giants gear.
Go Giants!
And I wrote, is this a Michelle Beadle origin story? Because Ellen Barkin kind of looks a lot like Michelle Beadle. Woman in sports, not pulling punches.
The cinematography that they're using here was so big in the 90s with that amber haze. Mm-hmm. Remember, it was in Bad Boys. It was in Independence Day. It was they always had that that haze. It was auburn amber kind of color.
Yeah.
It's because you shoot at sunset and you turn the saturation up.
Gotta do it.
Okay.
All
right. Photographers.
It's called the golden hour. I mean,
pretty sure it's when you pee on somebody.
Golden shower.
What have you done for 60 minutes?
Golden shower hour.
While also it's your birthday and you're doing a shot every minute.
Golden shower power hour.
Also, and you're terrified. That person is terrified and hiding in the corner.
Golden shower power cower hour.
Also, you're being cheered on by former Steelers head coach Bill Cowher.
2 cowers?
Well, Cowher and Cow.
Yeah.
Coward.
Also, you're sucking. Also, you're sucking on a lemon.
So that's what listening to podcasts is like for people.
Also, you're at you're at the top of One World Trade Center when you're doing it. While holding a rose.
Yeah, in the garden.
Gil's psyched about Bobby Rayburn. Giants finally got him. They're going all the way this year. And I wrote, I feel like in this episode, Amin and I are going to say some potentially inflammatory things about fans in general.
Oh, yes. I mean,
because there's a lot in this movie where I'm just like, Bobby Rayburn's right. He's right about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
what do you mean?
But the funny thing is, that's why I questioned the reviewer who was like, oh, this is, a poor depiction. I'm like, this is actually the most accurate film depiction I've ever seen of what fans on Twitter are like. This last week, I've been getting Suns fans who are sticking up for Robert Sarver of all people.
Yeah, come on, man. Like your team, but don't stick up for the bad people.
I'm just saying, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Well, I said, Kelly Oubre got traded to Golden State, and he's like playing for an owner who's actually about championship, whatever. And this one fan says, Robert Sarver put $45 million of his own money into a new practice facility. I'm like, the Warriors have spent $1 billion of their own money on an arena.
Yeah, the Lakers just throw $1 billion to San Francisco?
Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? So this scene happens. He's on the phone. He's driving across the bridge. He calls into the show. He's really psyched about Bobby Rayburn. And the host, the fake Michelle Beadle, gets Bobby Rayburn on the line. And I said, no, you got to understand something. Me and Zach, we have a radio show, right? We have a guest line. Callers call in, right? Listeners call in, I should say. There's no can you imagine, Zach, if somebody called and said, hey, man, I really love Channing Frye. And then I'm like, wait, hold on. Let's see if we get Channing Frye on the line.
Well, I was once talking about Carmelo Anthony, and then my buddy Mark Cuban did call into the radio because he was listening.
Did you get Carmelo Anthony on the line so that he could say it to Mark Cuban?
No.
Or Mark Cuban could say it to him? See, that's what I'm saying. They got a call from a fan and decided, you know what would be fun? If we got the actual athlete here to hear from this random crazy ass fan calling in.
Call him up.
And then not only that, I mean, she's big timing him. Who the fuck does this guy think he is?
Oh, she's pissed. Like, I gotta know what their ratings are for that show.
By the way, the producer or the co-host, that's the bad guy from Ghostbusters 2.
It is.
Remember, he says, we've got some top people downtown that can help you out. And then he gets them committed.
Yeah.
Right. Him. And then the board op. Did you notice who the board op was?
Yeah.
Jack Black, baby.
Jack Black.
Yeah.
Who would also be in Enemy of the State.
That's true. Bobby Rayburn. They got him. He's driving a black Hummer. 3-time MVP, 4-time RBI champ, ex-Braves center fielder. And I wrote, they're making him the Barry Bonds, but it's the Braves instead of the Pirates.
I thought it was funny that it was your favorite team player getting traded to my favorite team.
By the way, future callback on Barry Bonds.
Yeah, that's true. Future callback. Also, John Leguizamo's driving with him, and he's happy to be back in the Bay. Barkin asked him about whether or not he's worth $40 million. And I wrote, was this a big contract back then? So I did a little research. In 1992, Barry Bonds signed for 6 years, $43.5 million. So I guess so.
They said 40 million enough times that it made sense to me. And now that is 1 year of John Wall.
Yeah. And then I wrote, Ellen Barkin would have shit herself over Mike Trout's deal, which was 10 times that.
I like the idea of 1 year of John Wall, who, by the way, wants to be traded. You're fucking kidding me.
I spent way too much time trying to figure out what type of hat Wesley Snipes is wearing. I think it's a black pork pie hat.
It's not a Kangol?
No. Well,
he has a couple hats in this movie.
No, but he's got like a Heisenberg hat on.
At some point, I'm like, he's basically Nino Brown.
I think I've seen Roy Bellamy wear that hat before, right? In pictures.
Yeah. Roy, let us know.
What
type of hat is that?
Also, my notes app autocorrected Nino Brown to Nino Brown.
Nino.
Little Brown. Child.
Little boy Brown.
Zach, you know what else is funny? I never remember the names of hosts, let alone callers. Hosts.
Oh, hosts.
Right? Like when I'm on the radio and like I'm on Zippy and the Juice or whatever, like I don't remember.
Like, in the Jews or juice?
Juice.
Okay.
Right. I never know who I'm talking to.
Right.
I can't tell their voices apart for the most part. And on the recent podcast, I forgot May's first name. So the idea that they would remember the caller's name.
Right. Well, no, hold on. Well, you mean Bobby or Ellen?
Did I jump ahead?
No. But I'm curious because like there is a caller that we remember.
Oh, but he calls.
He calls every day. He does call every day. But there's a caller we remember. Yeah, it's every show, right? Not just to us every day. Every show throughout every day.
This is not, by the way, this is not exaggeration.
It's not hyperbole. He literally
Zach
does
and
this.
I on NBA radio. There's a guy who will call every single show throughout the day, and we've decided. The reason why is because when you call in and you get put on hold, rather than hold music, you get to listen to the show. So we think this dude basically is just calling because he wants to listen without paying for his SiriusXM subscription. Having said that, when he does come on, he has the most ridiculous, outrageous takes in all of basketball.
He finds a way to blame everything on Ricky Rubio or Jeremy Lin, which is confusing considering the majority of topics that exist in today's NBA. Okay. Let's see. He says he's given 100% to every franchise he's played with. Gil screams to his van window, "Out of way, Bobby!"
I'm impressed with Jack Black's producer skills because they're both shouting at mid-90s speakerphones while driving with the windows open.
Yeah, and it's clear as fuck.
Crystal.
He's not a producer. He's a board op. Let's not give him an upgrade just yet.
He's given all the cliches about fans. There's a Juan Primo controversy. He has to move to left. They bring Gil on the air, and he asks Jewel, who is Ellen Barkin, why she's so negative all the time. And Bobby loves it. Bobby thanks him for backing him up. He starts rambling about he played the game. He grew up on the Giants. This is how I grew up. And I just wrote, this is how I grew up too, because most of my friends were just annoying fucking Giants fans. And they're always like, and this is before the Giants became like title contenders and title winners. They won like every odd year or even year or whatever it was for like 6 straight years or something like that.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever it was. But before this, growing up, it's my friends just loving like a bunch of fucking losers and Barry Bonds every single day. I'm like, this team sucks. Like, what are you guys doing? So this really pissed me off, this whole Gil thing.
Attaboy, Bobby!
He also yells bitch at the radio when Jewel is criticizing Bobby.
He mouths it, right? He doesn't yell it, though. He mouths it.
Gil's been watching Bobby since high school championships. Jewel asks about his divorce for some more exposition, and Bobby says he's got to go.
Raybird and the Giants, that's like a magical connection. That's like the alignment of the planets.
I don't want to be the one that breaks it to you, but you might stink. Like, you might smell bad. You're always the last one to know if you smell bad, and that sucks, right? You don't want to be the smelly person. You don't want to be the smelly kid in school. You don't want to be the smelly adult out at a bar when those things really open up again, right? So you got to improve your self-care routine, and you can do that with Hawthorne. There's a lot of stuff out there you can be like, oh man, I don't know where to start. You start with Hawthorne. It's super easy. It's premium tailored personal care brand that makes it easy for guys to smell and feel their best. You take a quiz, they ask you things like, hey, do you like to go out at night to a bar, to a club? Do you want to just chill at home with Netflix? What kind of body wash? What kind of skin do you have? What do you like? Do you want bar soap? What kind of shampoo are you looking for? What matters to you? Do you smoke? Do you drink? What kind of drink? Do you like whiskey? They tailor everything to you. They boil it down from 500,000 combinations, and they find the product that is perfect for you. It's fun. I'm not really a cologne person, so I didn't get the cologne, but got the body wash, got the shampoo. You know I love my hair. I got to make sure that hair is on point, and I got the hand cream. We're washing our hands so much during this time. You got to make sure those hands are smooth and taken care of and moisturized. You do it by going to hawthorne.co. That's HAWTHORNE.co. You take the quiz today based on the personal self-care routine. They're going to throw back products at you, and you're going to get 10% off with the promo code DINGS by going to hawthorne.co. Promo code DINGS for 10% off your first purchase. That's hawthorne.co. Promo code DINGS. You don't have to stink. Just think with Hawthorne.
He gets to the ballpark. Photographers are hounding him. John Leguizamo screams the Giants haven't had a 1-2 like this since Mays and McCovey. Now we're in a meeting in a conference room, and they're talking about knives. The boss asks about the Iwo Jima line and wonders if Gil has seen any issues. He names 3, and the boss says maybe that's why you haven't been selling.
Me? I think this knife's an ass kicker.
Is it just me, or is that knife broken?
Well,
he holds up the knife, and it's like broken off. It looks like a broken off blade.
Why Gil won't sell it? Back to the park, and Bobby sees he's number 33. He says he wears number 11. Back to the meeting, and this boss just threw a car door on the table and starts stabbing the shit out of it like he's OJ.
This is incredible.
Me? I think this knife's an ass kicker. This door, on the other hand, comes off a foreign car. What need I say more? What are you guys still doing here?
So this is what I'm curious about. Does he do this all the time to where there's no feeling when he does this? Or did they walk in there and go, fuck is a car door doing on the wall?
He's just got a stack. He's got a stack in his office. That's how he relieves stress.
In order to maintain the element of surprise, you've got to be using those car doors for other things other than stabbings.
Right. Yeah. So is he like building forts with them? Like what's going on?
This guy is also Bulldog from Frasier, the sports radio guy.
Yeah. Shout out to Frasier.
Two Americas.
My Uncle Chuck wrote for it.
Did he?
Yeah. Didn't he?
Good luck.
Welcome to Cinephobe.
Yeah, he's got like 2 or 3 Emmys or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. Really?
Why can't we? No, that doesn't work. Why can't we have him as a guest?
I could try. He's not my actual uncle. He was my mom's best friend.
Here we go.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not related to him, but like.
He doesn't actually know who I am.
No, he knows who I am. It's my Uncle Chuck and Aunt Bob.
Your what?
Uncle Chuck and Aunt Bob.
Aunt Bob?
Yeah, he's gay.
Oh. I don't know my man.
He stabs the knife through the door. And he's also, as he's doing this, he is just screaming into the abyss.
It's amazing.
I mean, he's screaming like this is a business meeting.
We don't even really like totally know what Robert De Niro's doing yet.
No, I don't at all. I wrote, this is an erratic work environment. The knife industry is so cutthroat.
Yeah, they work at Renard and Garrity. That's the name of the knife company.
Primo wears number 11. Bobby says he wears number 11. We've got controversy. Gil asks his boss about opening day tickets. Boss says he has other things to worry about. He came close to kissing pavement. He says he kept management from firing Gil. Gil says, thanks, Massa.
Oh, man, yeah.
I was a little uncomfortable by it.
Clubhouse guy says 3 times 11 is 33, so maybe he'll play 3 times better. John Leguizamo says Jesus Christ was 33 when he died. Bobby says, Jesus Christ, give me my damn number.
That's a good one.
Gil says he promised tickets to a client and it can't hurt his rep. He says he won't sell crap. He won't sell the crappy knives.
You're stuck in a time warp with your head up your ass.
Bob says people want cheap foreign products. And I wrote, is this a made in America propaganda movie?
They all are. Every movie in the 80s and 90s was made in America propaganda.
The Iwo Jima line is also problematic to me.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Gil has until the end of the month.
Bring in the fucking numbers.
Close McGinley and Everest account because it's their biggest client. This boss is intense.
But hold on. Have either of you ever worked in a sales, like a real sales, not sales,
no,
not retail, like sales, like, no. What about you, Mayes?
Nah.
I did briefly. I didn't realize it was
days?
No, it wasn't the strip club days. That was a different time. No, it was. I worked. I didn't know it was sales when I signed up for it. It was enrollment. I thought it was like, oh, okay, I'm helping people who want to get their degrees or further their education or whatever, and almost like a counselor, because that's what they called it, an admissions counselor. So I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And I realized very quickly it was 100% a sales job. Like, you got these numbers that they're so-called warm leads, because these are people who have either gone to the website or done some sort of like initial search for, hey, how do I get my master's in this? Or how do I finish up my bachelor's? And so we're calling these people and trying to get them to sign up and like cajoling them with financial aid will take care of it. We can help you with all that. Like, basically making these people and telling them that their lives are going to be so much better with a college degree, which of course I knew that's not true at all. No one's lining up just because you have an MBA or whatever. That doesn't mean anything.
Right.
And so we had these weekly meetings, entire department, everybody in there, like 40, 50 people. And you have to stand up in front of everybody and say how many conversions you were going to get this week, or how many you got from last time. Did you meet your expectations from last time, and how many you get this week? And I'm like, and you like, I don't know any of this. Just I'm like, I don't know, like 1. And meanwhile, you got people like 15, but all those people were doing it all for referrals, right? Because they had been working for a while, and literally they weren't even using the call lists. They were just working off almost purely referrals. After a while, man, it really started to get to me. Like that scene right there, maybe not the stabbing of the door, but like the intensity of it, you got to get your numbers. You don't get your numbers, And like that shit was real, man. Sorry,
it sounds miserable.
That wasn't funny at all.
Did you bring in the fucking numbers or what?
Yeah. I mean, clearly not. He's doing this.
Or was it? No.
All right. They have a team press conference in the stands. Giants manager says they were missing a slugger like Rayburn, who they've signed. Press asked Bobby for a picture. He wants one with Primo.
Benicio's just doing another weird accent and has some weird chin beard action.
I wrote, Benicio del Toro has the most confusing facial hair color combination I've ever seen in a movie.
Seen a more confusing one in real life?
I've seen dyed red before, like a bright red. It was on a gentleman of melanin.
Was it Trey?
It's not Trey. I'm talking like goatee hair. That was it.
Oh, it was what's his name? Brian Skinner.
It was not Brian Skinner, but also that does qualify. Benicio del Toro says, hope you like in center field. I hope you like it in left. I wrote tension. Sexual tension?
Mm-hmm.
Jewel walks up to Manny, and Manny, as John Leguizamo says, well, if it isn't Jewel, my favorite token female sports reporter, and I wrote fourth wall.
Ouch.
She wants an interview with Rayburn. He says she's been crossed off the list. He'd rather nail his penis to a burning building. Then we get Gil trying to sell knives montage.
No. Hold on. You missed a great line. Blow me, Manny. Yeah, I would, but you haven't had your shots yet. I laughed. Right. And then we get the sales montage.
He's shaving his arm hair, his leg hair. It's not working.
The big motherfucker, the little motherfucker. Which motherfucker do you want?
When he says knife doing business with you.
There you
go. Gil is scalping tickets now. 2 behind home plate, $200 apiece. He wants to pay $125. The scalper is Michael Jace from The Replacements and The Shield.
Yeah,
I knew it. I knew he was in The Replacements.
Yeah, he's like Wilkinson or something, right?
Yeah,
the ex-con.
Yeah.
Gil is mad that the scalper doesn't care about the game.
Anytime I can do you any more fucking favors, you just let me know, all right?
Manny is pumping up Bobby in the clubhouse, and I wrote, is Manny on the fucking team? Jesus.
Manny's got amazing access. Yeah. For an agent, he's got amazing access.
Yeah. Bobby's got to go see a sick kid and give him a bat. Gil is meeting with a man named Stanley Jackson, sporting goods store. Stanley might be jacking off some security cameras.
Yeah, he's a perv.
Yeah.
He's literally sitting in the office with the security cam videos and zooming in on a woman's titties.
Now let me say this.
And I said, damn the time before free porn.
It is not acceptable to do that in any way.
I mean, but like free porn has freed us all of this, right?
That's true. Well, no, I think people still do that creepy shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Just watch porn.
I mean, that's what you do during podcasts, right?
Sometimes.
Or during the movies.
Just an advanced scout.
Sometimes.
Just a scout, right? What's a scout always?
Cue it up.
It says they have an exclusive with Gerber. Stanley asks him about kayaks. Gil is pissed. Calls him an asshole.
What the fuck do kayaks have to do with knives? You fucking asshole. Kayaks you're asking me about when I'm asking you about knives? How about you get some kayaks and stick them up your fucking ass, you moron?
That's when I began to realize that Gil may not have it all upstairs.
He's a little unhinged.
A little on edge.
Yeah. Bobby visits the kid and says they have the same haircut. Too soon, Bobby. Jesus Christ. Kid asks him if he's sick too. Bobby's affected. The kid has the same name as Bobby's kid. Kid wants a home run for tomorrow.
Oh,
I just wrote, that's so much to ask, and it's like the scene in Seinfeld where Kramer.
Exactly.
You promised the kid in the hospital that I'd hit 2 home runs.
Yeah, what? No good?
No, it's no good. It's terrible. I mean, you don't hit home runs like that. It's hard to hit home runs, and where the heck did you get 2 from?
Well, 2 is better than 1.
That's ridiculous.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not a home run hitter.
Well, Babe Ruth did it.
He did not.
Oh, you're saying that Babe Ruth was a liar?
I'm not calling him a liar, but he wasn't stupid enough to promise 2.
Well, maybe I did overextend myself.
How the heck did you get in here anyway?
It also reminded me of The League. They do the same joke.
Is The League funny? I've seen enough of it, and I can't decide if I like it or if I
really
just
liked it when it was on.
It was very good. Yeah, it was very well
and
done.
it's improv style like Curb, so it's like the same. It's the only show that has the same like we have an outline and every scene is improvised thing. As Curb.
I just have never seen so many funny people together be so like.
I'll tell you, like the league was Paul Scheer. What was his character's name, Maze?
Andre.
Yeah, he like just he was a very Paul Scheer character. Yeah. You've got
Nick Kroll. Nick Kroll is
Nick Kroll as Ruxin. It was just an asshole, which again is a very Nick Kroll character.
Who's the guy that lied about being in the
9/11?
9/11, yeah, Tony something or whatever. I can't remember his name.
Easy.
Yeah.
And then of course
Manzukis.
My man Rafi.
Yeah. That's Rafi Manzukis on that show. Like just Manzukis on that show is enough reason to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching an episode of Community recently that Manzukis is guesting on, and he's just like he's so fucking.
He comes in and just blows everybody off the screen every time.
He really
no matter
does.
What
I don't know how this
is.
guy hasn't done more because he is great in everything.
But he does have to be like a limited dose because when they do an episode of the league that's all Manzukis, it's too much.
Yeah, but I think that's the character, not necessarily him, right? The character is very intense.
For sure, but like he's a unbelievable supporting person.
Yeah, he was great in Brooklyn Nine-Nine when he was on there a couple of times. All right, Bobby's pissed at Manny. Gil has a rotating tie rack in his van. I wrote, does he live in his van? Why would you have that?
Lucky tie, lucky guy. Hookup. It's just a weird vehicle choice, period.
It's a van, by the way. It's not a minivan.
No, it's like brown. Like we're traveling the country as a shitty rock band van. Like that's what it is.
How many knives do you think he has in that van? Like 700?
Minimum. Yeah. I bet it's just lining the walls. Gil's late for a big appointment. The guy isn't there anymore. Tomorrow at 2:30 is the makeup time, but that's opening day.
Phones really killed so many industries. Briefcases, organizers, all that shit. Because when he pulls out all his shit to figure out whether he can make it tomorrow at 2 p.m. or whenever she wants, or 2:30.
Yeah.
He's pulling out all this stuff from a briefcase, and I'm like, nowadays you just look at your phone for all this shit.
And in the day planner, it just has opening day in big letters with a drawing of a baseball. And I wrote, fucking nerd. This dude's off to Chicago for 3 weeks tomorrow at 3 p.m. So it's got to be 2:30. He says that's a problem because he wants to take his son to opening day. And I wrote, this woman does not give a fuck.
She couldn't give less of a shit. It's amazing.
Myself as a father, I'm a real cut up. And I wrote, is that a knife joke?
I think it is.
All right. She can't help him. Opening day, Primo wants $500,000 for the number. It's his lucky number.
Attaboy, Primo.
$500,000?
And Bobby has a problematic comment. He said, ain't that much luck in the world. He's lucky to be in the fucking country. Ruh-roh, Bobby. Bobby maybe wants someone to build a wall. I wrote, this movie's problematic. Manny says while he's doing the girl, think of him. And I did not understand that. It's a different kind of ball busting, you know?
There you go. Hey-o. Attaboy, Bobby!
Gil shows up to his ex's
By the way,
place.
my dream is that every time I say that, Maze just clips in that first.
Well, I got bad news for you. There's a rush edit coming up.
A rush edit. He asked the stepdad if he's lost his job.
Oh my god!
And the ex-wife is just against him in general. He's blasting Rolling Stones, trying to tell his kid about Mick Jagger.
Jason Pellegrini's dad says Mick Jagger's gay.
Yeah, well, Jason Pellegrini's dad takes it up the ass.
Baseball tryouts are next week, and Gil didn't know. Teach him the 3 whats. Keep the bat high, step on the eggshell, and squash the bug.
This kid will not shut the fuck up about Jason Pellegrini.
Yeah, no shit. His old friend Cooper taught him that. Gil hates that kid's glove. Opening day, everyone's excited. They take their seats early. Kid wants a hot dog.
I was really waiting for the tickets to not scan.
Oh.
And then I forgot back then, fake tickets must have been a killer industry.
Well, it's been huge, yeah.
Yeah, because like this. I
actually bought fake tickets once. I was in a group that got fake tickets.
Pre-scan?
Pre-scan, yeah. This was late 90s.
So you guys just got into the venue and then realized it when you got to your seats?
Yes.
Why didn't you accuse the other people of having fake tickets?
Because we had literally just scalped them and we thought, uh-oh. Maybe this is not great.
No, you got to hold on to that lie forever.
No, because I didn't know if they were season ticket. Because if they're season ticket holders, then what? We just kind of walked around for a couple hours. Had a great time though. There you go. Let's see what else. Jewel is trying to work Manny for an interview. I wrote, she's a real ball buster. The kid has a knife to wipe the mustard off the hot dog.
Yes.
Kids have that knife.
Might be easier just to say, hold the mustard.
Right. Gil is watching the clock for the start of the game. 80 minutes from the movie or from the meeting. The kid likes the mascot and he's not paying attention to the game. Gil is pissed about that. Bobby and Primo collide on a catch. He loses his necklace, but he catches the ball.
Center field makes the calls.
I learned something today.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I had no idea.
Oh, yeah, man. Center fielder rules it. The announcer says, hope the Giants have comprehensive collision coverage. And Manny wants Bobby to come out of the game, but he's going to stay in. Gil tells the kid to sit there. He's going to make some calls downstairs. He'll be back soon.
So I believed him. I really believed he was just going on payphone. I was like, this is the worst dad ever. He's just gonna go like down to a payphone and just expect nothing to go wrong.
Richie's just sitting there flicking his knife open and closed over and over and over again.
It's like security should do something about that.
Pop fly ball and the way he pushed his kid out of the way.
It's so fucking It's so funny because, all right, kid says mom will be mad if they're not home by 6. And then I wrote, my next note is Mrs. Doubtfire in a Stanford hat is watching this exchange.
Yeah, this lady was mugging.
Oh, God. And so foul ball gets hit. He crashes through his kid to try to get it. And he tries to like take it out of the person's glove, the kid's glove who caught it. And then as he walked, Win took it. Kid got lucky. I wrote, you fucking loser.
Who are you talking to?
He leaves his son as John Kruk gets a hit. He's trying to teach his kid about the sacrifice fly. He's now waiting around for Bobby's first at bat. Misses the pitch badly. He's clearly hurt. He can't find his necklace. I wrote, Gil's a real loser. Man behind him asks him to sit down. High strike called and Gil loses it. He pushes the guy
Bobby
behind.
Rayburn doesn't even go to the on-deck circle. He just goes right from the dugout right to the plate.
Power move. $40 million man.
Was that something that like only started recently in baseball? Or?
No. The on-deck circle?
Yeah.
No, that's been around since the Civil War.
I also wrote De Niro is every white fan ever. I don't know what precisely elicited that response from me, but he did something.
Well, it's probably him talking about the beauty of the sacrifice fly, right?
Yeah. He yells at Mrs. Doubtfire. He tells his son he's got to go. Bobby crushes a pitch for a grand slam.
Did you notice that the guy behind the guy that he got in a fight with was Swamp Thing from Con Air?
Yes, of course.
MC Gainey. And that's not a rapper name.
He calms everyone down, and then he's very happy with himself. Gil runs down the ramp to make a phone call. Oh, no, wait, he's driving. And I wrote, how is he already downtown?
They make it seem like he gets from Candlestick to North Beach before he rounds the bases.
I wrote the note. Oh, this nigga OD Wilder. Because, man, like you leaving the stadium?
Here's the thing. I mean, and I don't want to be that guy, but Mays, you can back me up on this, right? Like to get from that seat down to your car to drive from Candlestick into downtown San Francisco would have to be an hour.
I feel like you guys are hung up on the wrong thing here. He left his 10-year-old child.
The kid's got a knife. He'll be fine.
In a stadium full of people.
It's not a big deal considering how quickly he does this like 2-hour commute. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
He's back before the end of the game.
He gets to the meeting and the guy is at the baseball game. He's not going to Chicago.
What a twist.
Left him a note. He reads it. He's pissed. Drives back to the baseball game. And I wrote, the game isn't over.
Somehow he goes via the Bay Bridge.
That's true. Kid's gone.
This is a San Francisco trope. You have driving that makes no logistical sense. Yeah. Every San Francisco movie does it.
Yeah, it's true.
The problem is like 99% of the stuff that you'd want to see in San Francisco are in San Francisco, but you have to have an excuse to show either the Bay Bridge or the Golden Gate Bridge. So You got to show them crossing it. Maybe he went the long way. Maybe he went all the way down and by the airport and came back.
Christ, maybe he came back to tomorrow's game then.
It's like in Jade when they're in the super slow chase through Chinatown, then all of a sudden they're like down by the wharf.
All right, kid's gone. Giants win. Sick kid slipped into a coma in the first inning. Didn't see the home run. And Bobby says no more hospital gigs. Gil goes to the ex's house. He brought the kid some pizza. The ex is furious.
How does everybody in this family have a New York accent? The ex.
At one point, he talks about Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But then he's just talked about how he's grown up in San Francisco this whole time.
Yeah.
No. Remember, he said he's such a big Giants fan that when the Giants moved from New York to San Francisco, that's when his father and their family moved.
Oh,
he is technically from New York.
Right.
The ex, though, I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. The woman in the Stanford hat being at his ex-wife's house is so confusing.
Well, she took the kid.
She took the kid home.
Oh, okay. I thought they were related. Jesus Christ.
She saw the kid. That would have been funny. If she was just
I was like, is that grandma?
Grandma. No, she took the kid when he left his kid.
That makes a lot more sense.
The kid told him where to go or something. So the mom called the lawyer. There's a restraining order. He pushes his way into the house. Ted, the stepdad, is being a real bitch.
Well,
I'm sorry, you're not walking into my fucking house, shoving my wife, shoving me out of the way. Like, no, that's not happening.
His name is Tim, and Gil keeps calling him Ted.
Oh, is it?
And Tim is 100% a bitch.
He shoves everybody as she screams to call the cops. He's locked in the son's room. They're eating pizza. Kid asks if he'll have his own last name if mom marries Tim. Oh, that's why he said Tim.
Gil says it's his favorite type of pizza, but then Richie doesn't like mushrooms.
Pick him off.
We get more talk about Coop and his advice. And I wrote, is there tension between Gil and Coop?
When Richie asks if he's going to be a Renard anymore, I definitely thought we were going to get our word.
Also, he asked his kid at some point, I heard you're still worried about the tryouts. I heard you still worried about the triads. I thought of Uncle Frank.
10-year-old is super Asian mobsters taking over the city. What a turn that would have been if just Gil's just fighting those guys for the rest of the
He's
of the
knife
movie.
supplier.
He and Bobby, meet up. They decided to take the city back. That's a good movie. All right, the boss cuts Gil off as he walks into the conference room. McKinley and Everest want to drop the account. Figgy sorted them out. Boss gave Figgy the account. I was expecting that to get a vowel change in there. To get a bingo. Gil's behavior is unacceptable. People are scared of him. He's fired. De Niro, I wrote, De Niro does a great Unhinged. Like, he goes fucking nuts. Gil says his father started this business. Gil's listening to the radio. He gets served a temporary restraining order. He still gets to go to the Little League tryouts despite the restraining order?
He doesn't get to. He just shows up. And then once again, Tim is a bitch.
Go ahead.
No, it's 100 feet, so technically he gets to go because he stays away until he doesn't.
Restraining order do a lot of damage from 100 feet. He's a knife thrower. He could have thrown a knife easily.
Well, I mean, did they bring that up with the court system? I guess I don't know.
I can't remember if I talked about this on a previous pod with us, but I had a friend whose dad was banned from Little League games because he would scream at the umpires too much. And so he literally banned him, but he would still show up and he would go sit in the left field corner. He would bring his own lawn chair.
Like Bartman?
I mean, pretty much in that placement.
He just listened to a Walkman.
Sit in the left field corner of this Little League field. And so, I don't know, he's got to be like probably no more than 200 feet away. I don't think the field was that big. But yeah, like, so he would just go sit in that corner and watch his kid play ball.
When Gil gets served, there's furious knocking on the door by Paul Herman, who is Marvin, Vinny Chase's accountant from Entourage. And he gets him by saying that kids are breaking into his van. And then he has to use the bathroom. It's a real well done process server.
Yeah. He hates how the coach is pitching to his kid. He goes down to the field to switch the kid's bat out because his bat he's using is too heavy. Tim tries to stop him, and Gil says he'll send his head into the fucking outfield.
Tim, you're such a bitch.
Mom comes flying in, grabs the bat.
Hold on. Like, time out. Now knowing what we know about Gil, like at that point, you told me, May's going to be a big tough man. The guy's hold a bat in his hand. He'll fuck you up, man.
I mean, I wouldn't have let it get this far.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you got to start carrying a gun, right?
Yes. Bring a
also,
gun.
I probably wouldn't be dating Ellen.
I wrote, this has to be brutal for the kid at school tomorrow, right?
Dude.
His dad went nuts. Yes. His dad went nuts. His mom comes flying in. They're yelling at each other. This kid's crying in baseball tryouts.
She's grabbing her kid.
Yeah.
Get out of here!
She sounds like
Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
Get out of here!
You coward! All right. He gives him advice as he leaves, tells him to mind his fucking business, and he's fucking lucky. All right. I would not have gotten involved. I take it back. He's watching baseball on TV with his knife.
Silently flicking his knife open and closed.
Bobby's struggling. There's a bug on the door. Gil throws a huge fucking knife at it. It stabs through the door, and a Jewish man with a dog is worried.
Yeah, he spooks an Orthodox Jew.
His boss's car has a bunch of punctures from a knife, and the knife is stuck in the hood. Gil went to the Giants game. Bobby's still struggling. He's getting booed, and there are signs against him. I wrote, this crowd is racist.
Also,
go back to the signs.
I don't know if this is the scene where it happens, but I wrote the note. This dude's life is falling apart, and he's worried about the Giants.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
I mean, we know he's not a season ticket holder because he's scalping tickets.
And that's what you call Twitter right there.
Yeah, is he going back to the same scalper every time? Because, he's got the same seats.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Why not just buy the season from the scalper instead of one at a time?
That is Twitter. 100%. We get some exposition from the announcer. Gil lost his job. I wrote, Gil lost his job, but he's going to all these games.
Yeah.
Bobby hits into a double play. Manny offers Jewel the interview. She says, I thought I was off your list. He says, Schindler has a list, not me. Jesus Christ.
Topical.
I'm saying that in a press box in 2020. Yeah. You know how that goes. Bobby's hitting 183 right now. Gil calls the Giants clubhouse and says he's a friend, and he gets through?
He must have the same, Rolodex as Howard Cosell.
Bobby Gil can't talk. He hangs up, and now looks like he's up to something.
They put just anyone on the line.
And that's the first 9 Inch Nails music cue.
Yeah. Bobby's kid gets off a private jet. He's getting a puppy. This is the kid from Space Jam who plays Michael Jordan.
This kid was in every fucking movie. He was in Soul Food. He was in I believe he was in Independent. No, he wasn't in Independence Day. That was a different kid.
That's a kid from Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince, yeah. But he was in a lot of fucking movies in the 90s.
All right, Manny's telling Bobby to do an interview and exploit the dead kid's death. Bobby doesn't want to do that, so he sits down next to Jewel at a bar, and he just reaches over and grabs a hidden recorder on her. And I wrote, this is so highly unethical from a journalistic standpoint.
Then
secretly record someone for an interview.
He orders a screwdriver, and she orders a whiskey neat. And I asked, do you guys ever have it when women order harder drinks than you do?
For sure. I've had a couple of girlfriends where that's actually how I got into whiskey and scotch, is they were always drinking it.
Yeah. What about you, Maze?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really I usually get a beer, so it's usually always any liquor would be harder than my beverage.
I'm saying, do you get I don't know, a Michelob Ultra, and then she gets a Guinness or something like that,
or Juice Box?
I've never had a Michelob Ultra in my life. Thank God.
Oh man, I got a bunch here.
I know you still have them.
Still do. I still got.
Wow, they must be great.
And I got that giant championship bottle of Michelob Ultra.
Me too. Shout out to Michelob.
Yeah, shout out to Michelob. Somebody.
Yeah, I run into this a lot because I like rum and cokes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And apparently, like, that's just not. First of all, people, I realized very late in life, people look down upon anyone who drinks mixed drinks.
Here's my thing is, why do you care what someone else drinks?
I don't know.
You know, like there's more of what you like is available for you because I'm not drinking it.
I think they get upset like that. Like, for instance, sometimes I'll have like a Hennessy and Coke, right? Or a Crown and Coke.
Right.
And people are like, oh, you're stealing away all the flavor. I'm like, it doesn't taste like anything to me. It just tastes like alcohol.
Right.
So I need something to cut the flavor.
Also, who cares? Why do you care? Like, why do they care how you experience it?
Yeah. These women are out of control.
She tells him the slump is a good thing. He'll teach him how to cut himself some slack.
Too focused on being Mr. Perfect.
Primo is smoking the ball, and Gil's heckling him. He's
so this is what I'm saying. Like,
we get a Primo montage.
Isn't he a Giants fan? Like, what the fuck, Gil?
First, a couple of things. One, before that, when Jewel and Bobby are talking, she says something. He says, it doesn't seem like a lie when I'm hitting. And I said, sexual tension. Also, De Niro reminds me of Laker fans who didn't like LeBron before he won a championship.
You could have just said Ellen Barkin, sexual tension.
Could have.
Is Boogie available?
My dog?
Yeah, to bark. Ellen Barkin.
How often are you having a conversation with friends, colleagues, whatever, and a subject comes up and you have to like look something up, a question really on the internet, and you're like, wow, this is really going to look bad in my browser history. It happens to me a lot, probably on a weekly basis, probably every time I'm preparing for this very podcast. I know most of you are probably thinking, why don't you just use incognito mode? Let me tell you something. Incognito mode is crap. It does not hide your activity. It doesn't matter what mode you use or how many times you clear your browser history, your internet service provider can still see every single website you've ever visited. Yeah, even that one. That's why even when I'm at home, I never go online without using ExpressVPN. It doesn't matter if you get your internet from Verizon, Comcast, AT&T, ISPs in the US can legally sell your information to ad companies. ExpressVPN is an app that reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers so your ISP can't see the sites you visit. ExpressVPN also keeps all your information secure by encrypting 100% of your data with the most powerful encryption available. Most of the time, I don't even realize I have ExpressVPN on. It runs seamlessly in the background and is so easy to use. All you have to do is tap one button, tap, and you're protected. ExpressVPN is available on all your devices, phones, computers, even your smart TV, so there's no excuse for you not to be using it. Protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by CNET and Wired. Visit our exclusive link, expressvpn.com/dings, and you can get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/dings, expressvpn.com/dings to learn more.
Everybody wants Primo's autograph, and they're saying fuck you to Bobby. And my next note is just Benicio's hair is unreal. I don't understand what's going on.
I was really shocked that when De Niro gets home, when Gil gets home, he's got a montage. Like, he's got not a montage. He's got like a collage?
Yep.
Of newspaper clippings and magazine clippings all about Bobby Rayburn, and one of them was Jet magazine, and I was really impressed that Gil went out and bought a Jet magazine.
Yeah. We are going to make it, Amin. Psychotic knife salesman buying Jet magazine with his favorite baseball players on there. Was he so he was a huge Bobby Rayburn fan just because he watched him as a kid?
Yeah,
because he's a local guy.
He's all in on Bobby Rayburn. Like, was he all in on Bobby Rayburn last year?
But he hates Primo. So is it a situation where if Bobby was beating the Giants as a member of the Braves, he's like, well, at least it's Bobby doing it to us, right?
No, I think he
kind of baseball cuckery.
He started not liking Primo as soon as he learned the jersey stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Gil's the only one cheering for Bobby. Sees him drive away in his Hummer. Gil's holding a model Hummer, and he has a newspaper clipping of Bobby all over the wall. Jet magazine as well. And I wrote, "This is some Buffalo Bill shit."
Yep, this is the serial killer den.
Yeah, 100%. Bobby's hitting balls to his kid on the beach. Gil's watching them in the hills with binoculars.
And it's in the trivia, but I was like, this isn't San Francisco.
No, it's, what is it, Malibu?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gil is drinking at a strip club and Primo's there. Bobby walks in and Gil tries to say hi. Bobby walks to the table. Primo gets up. Gil defends him to the bartender. And he goes, what a waste of space. And Gil says, he hit a bad patch. We all hit a bad patch. You never hit one? And the bartender says, no, this is my dream job.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was great delivery. Also, that was a strip club?
There was a stripper, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't there someone on a pole?
Yeah, there was a stripper.
Yeah, in the background, yeah.
Yeah, just a couple Major League Baseball players hanging out in an empty strip club during the day with their biggest fan.
Gil is going over to Bobby. He doesn't want to talk and does the hand to the face thing. I missed that.
Oh, yeah.
1996.
Yeah, man. They're talking. Bobby and Primo talk in the bathroom as Gil listens in the stall. Bobby wants to know his price.
Can you imagine this happened this year? Somebody's live tweeting.
Oh my god!
These two baseball players beat the shit out of each other over a number.
Primo and Bobby Rayburn are fighting about a number in the bathroom.
By the way,
the Instagram Live, right? Like
shout out to COVID for eliminating once and for all bar bathrooms that have a towel dispenser that is literally just a towel and it rotates.
It's just a typhoid rag. That's all that is.
Oh my god!
I hate those things. Bobby decks him, and a bunch of dudes break it up. Gil knows what he needs to do. Then I wrote, why is Bobby always calling into this radio station?
Jules got that clout.
Oh, my God. He says they're slowing down to watch his bad. Oh.
Too soon?
That's usually my problem.
Oh, attaboy, Bobby!
He says they're slowing down to watch his bad patch like a bad freeway accident. Jewel. And then I wrote, Jules always on the radio at night and in the morning?
Got that clout.
And she's like, struggling. Gil calls in.
You ask it, hey, Jules, can you fill in? Yes.
Gil calls in. Bobby's talking to him. He knows what he's going through. He swears on the radio, and I wrote, they beeped it? How'd that work? That's not how radio works.
Bobby listening? Bobby? Hey, Bob.
Yeah, Gil, I'm here, man.
How you doing? Listen, I want to tell you that I know exactly what you're going through, more than you'll ever understand. You know, this whole number 11 thing is a fucking joke. I mean, you're the greatest player this city has ever had, and all of a sudden, you got some flash in the pan, some hot dogger like Primo giving you a hard time about your number. I mean, you're the star. There's a reason you're being paid $40 million. And on top of it, the owners aren't even doing what they should be doing. I mean, they should be protecting their investment. I mean, pay him whatever he wants. Give him whatever he wants. If he wants $1 million, give it to him. And if he doesn't want to take $1 million and he doesn't want to give up his number, then fuck him, get him out. What the fuck is it different? Just get you hitting again. If that's what it's going to take, then that's what it's going to take.
And they say the fans don't know what they're talking about.
Gil says a lot of swearing and says to get rid of Primo. Bobby says maybe he should have Gil talk to Primo and talk some sense into him. Gil keeps listening to this over and over because he recorded it.
I'm sure this won't be misinterpreted.
And Gil follows Primo.
You know what this is like, Zach? This is like when athletes like retweet a fan or like quote tweet it, like, yeah, someone should talk to Primo about that. And then the fan ends up like pinning it to their
framing it
Twitter
on their wall.
Or putting it in their bio, talk about like on
photo.
September 19th, 20 this, Bobby Rayburn responded to me or tweeted me or whatever.
It also reminds me of like, it's not the same thing, but it reminds me of all those aggregation poacher sites that just repurpose everyone's good work, and then in their bio it's like featured on ESPN, Sports Illustrated, and it's like they just posted your tweet.
Yeah, no, they were featured. Zach,
it's not featured.
I remember the first time I saw someone with that bio and featured on ESPN. I'm like, well, I've been working here for a while. I've never seen you. Like, then I realized no, that's just because their tweet is used.
Gil follows Primo at a gym into a sauna. Gil's wearing a suit in the sauna, and I wrote, I'm so uncomfortable just thinking about how that must have felt. Because I barely like wearing a towel into a sauna. Like, that shit gets real steamy.
Zach said, I barely like. Wow.
I think Robert De Niro's used to the heat.
He's telling Primo.
I hate Mayes because he thinks he's a good fella.
All right, we done, or how many of these do we want to do?
Mayes, I think if we keep going, Zach's going to turn into a raging bull.
No, I'm just going to get out of here. I'm going to call a taxi driver.
It's your turn, Mayes.
Analyze that.
Analyze this.
Well played. Oh, good job, guys.
We were doing this story back on the East Coast. It'd be a real Bronx tale.
Okay, now you're stretching.
He was in a movie called Stretching It?
No, we need to keep going. We need to keep moving.
He's telling Primo to think of what's best for the team and Bobby's number. He needs that number. Primo shows him that it's branded onto his shoulder.
Yeah, like game over, dude.
Yeah, asks if he's with the press or hotel, says to get out. Gil walks out sweaty as fuck, but then it's flashing back to him walking back into the sauna. He gets punched, then he knifes the fuck out of Benicio. He bleeds out because the knife is stuck in an artery in his leg, and Gil just watches him die.
And the song that plays
9 Inch Nails.
I wanna fuck you.
Yeah, he asked him to lay down a sacrifice, which of course is the most beautiful play in the game.
True. By the way, that song is like 4 times in that movie. Easily.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Bobby walks into the clubhouse. Every jersey has a number 11 patch on it. Crux says, now we all get to wear the number. Gil went to the memorial game for Primo. That's twisted.
Yeah,
like, that's
dude.
fucked up.
And he's got to just like, let's get this shit over with look.
Yeah. He's like, come on.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, murder.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
He really was upset by like all the...
Yeah, man. The ceremony, like...
First at bat, Bobby crushes it. He gets booed. There's a sign that says Bobby killed Primo. Who killed Primo? Bobby's sign. I'm like, what the fuck?
Who killed Primo? ... Bobby?
How is that allowed in? Where is stadium security? Manny finds Bobby at a driving range. Manny wants to know why he's not banging groupies. Cops don't want him, by the way. Manny thinks Bobby feels guilty and he's not a shithead after all.
I'm fucking flabbergasted.
Montage of Bobby crushing it. He slides feet first into first base at one point. Gil's everywhere.
Yeah, more Rolling Stones. Give me shelter during this Bobby is good again montage.
Yeah.
Also, after that first game, the number 11 patch gone from the jersey.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I noticed like in this montage, like, fuck that. Like, we moved on.
Gil's upset. Bobby doesn't know why he's crushing it. Wants a thank you.
He's just flicking his knife open and closed.
He's watching Bobby and his kid from the hill again. Kid goes boogie boarding into the ocean. Bobby's in the house. The dog is out there. The kid gets taken under, and Gil springs into action. Bobby hops down a good 15 feet from that elevated patio.
I thought at first it was a shark attack because of the way that it was shot.
Yes, me too. Until I realized it's the stupid fucking dog making this child almost drown.
Gil rescues the kid. Bobby takes him.
Yo, by the way,
Manny's way of fixing this problem was, let's get dry.
Hold on. I'm under the impression that the water there is not just cold. It is like downright freezing.
In Malibu?
Well, if it's supposed to be in San Francisco area, Bay Area. I mean, it's cold both places, but it's really cold up in San Francisco.
I mean, they don't even live. No one lives there, right? Like on the beach?
No.
They don't even have beach houses there because it's so cold. I remember, Zach, were you with us? No, you weren't. It was the first finals when we went to like Golden Gate Park and we climbed down the cliffs and went down to the beach. And it was straight up winter weather. It might have been 40 degrees. This is the middle of June. So the idea of a kid jumping in the water just for fun, it's all a lie. These are the lies they give us in the East Coast. That everywhere in California, you just go swimming like it's normal. I wouldn't do that shit in San Diego, let alone San Francisco.
There's 2 stuntmen that are clearly not De Niro or Snipes doing this whole scene.
In this movie are fucking amazing. It's very face-off-ish. And it's face-off, like people who are there to play Cage and Travolta in the stunts, like look nothing like them.
And it's sunset and everything's backlit and the saturation is turned up.
Thank God for Mark Spitz over here.
Oh, but yeah.
Maybe no shtick, Manny. Maybe once we find out the kid's not dead, we can joke about it. Gil says he was walking on the beach, saw it and went in. Bobby says not to tell the mother. They take the kid inside. Gil says his friends call him Curly. Bobby invites him in, says he'll get him some dry clothes. Then Curly puts on Bobby's cologne. He's in his closet in a bathrobe. He puts on Bobby's braces.
You let me penetrate you.
You let me violate you.
Covers it up with the jacket. Bobby asks if he's seen him before. He says he must have one of those faces. You like baseball? I'm not obsessed with it or anything. You a player? Yeah. Ask him if he's Barry Bonds.
Huh.
Well, then I wrote, so Barry Bonds does exist in this universe. Where does he play?
Yeah. Is he still in Pittsburgh?
Must be. Yeah.
Maybe Primo moving to left bumped him down to the minors.
Yeah, he just got sent down. Fresno. Curly says he's just kidding. Bobby's glad he's not one of those diehard fans because those guys are real losers, and I'm just nodding. Fans are like women. When you're hitting, they love you. When you're not, they just as soon spit on you as look at you.
I don't see how that's bad.
You into that? Why is that? Because they don't understand you're the same person whether you're hitting or not. Only person you should play for is yourself. They're going to go shoot some pool. Bobby asks, Curly Otis? Curly says it's his old man. He was in the bigs for a cup of coffee before his arm went out. Curly's pretending to be well adjusted. He tries on Bobby's Giants hat. And then Curly wants to pitch for him.
Yeah, so he's really got a great cover story here of, oh, yeah, I've heard of baseball. And all of a sudden he's...
Oh, yeah, I played.
I like to pitch.
I gotta show you my special pitch.
So Curly says, must be good to be hitting again. He says, you have no idea. How do you think you got out of that slump, Bob? Say what? Got any idea what got you out of that slump? I just stopped caring, man. All my life I've been working to be the best, trying to be a perfectionist. Probably where I made my mistake. Juan Primo dying changed the perspective, and Curly is furious. Furious. Throws him some chin music. Backs him up. Bobby says there's more to life than baseball. Curly is becoming unhinged. Says, do you have a better theory? He says, yeah, you got your number back. And I wrote, is this a fucking numerology movie? I mean,
11-11.
Curly takes off the jacket to reveal the Braves jersey. Bobby is freaked. Stops him from pitching. Thanks, man. Thanks for saving his son. Calls it a night. Curly won't let go of his hand as they shake hands. Bobby wants Bobby to admit that he's hitting because Primo isn't around, and he is unfucking hinged.
A thank you would be nice for laying down a sacrifice, the most beautiful play in the game.
Super sexual tension going on here. Come on, admit it.
Yeah.
Come on, admit it. Come on.
Says, to be honest, tell him he's a little happy Primo's dead. Says, can I have my hand back now?
Come on, admit it. Come on. Admit it.
I've never felt more uncomfortable in my life.
Are you advanced scouting right now? I mean,
alone.
When Wesley Snipes is like sketched out and like runs back inside, it reminded me of like Michael Cera in Superbad when he starts walking away from the girl and they're going the same direction. Bye.
But like Bobby's a nice guy, by the way, because I would have fucked that dude up right then and there.
Oh yeah, you got a bat.
Yeah, you gotta. Hey, motherfucker.
All right. He grabs the gear. He's going to sleep. He hurries away, tells Curly to keep the glove, and he runs inside the house. Then Curly took the kid and the dog and the Hummer. What is Bobby going to do without the car?
Curly's got wheels here. Like, how did he...
Oh, man, I mean, he fucking teleported. It's like Jason X. He's trying to tell Bobby's kid about Mick Jagger now. Says they're going fishing. Going to pick up Coop. Gives the kid a knife.
Just don't cut yourself.
It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
Definitely have to clip in him singing along.
Yeah.
Daddy!
Bobby says, or no, Bobby needs to get a security system. Bobby calls the car phone. Curly asks him to pick up the headset, or he asks Curly to pick up the headset so they can talk. Bobby's trying to remain calm. Curly's amazed that Bobby is hanging on every word he says.
Curly's got Sean doing the knife flicking thing now.
What do you want from me? Don't you talk back to me. You show me some respect. Without people like me, you're nothing.
You're nothing.
What do you want? I want every time they think of you, they're going to think of me. Curly says to check his freezer. There's a surprise. It's the branded shoulder skin of Primo.
Yikes.
He just carries that around just in case? Does he put that back in a freezer every night? He just has that on him just in case?
He has that on him watching him on the beach.
We had a fucking montage. A montage. He's had that on him all the time.
I'm a pitcher, Bobby. Pitchers use their brains.
Hangs up the phone. Gil says they're going to play a joke on Coop, so he wants the kid to play along. Tells Coop this kid is his. Coop is freaked out. They're clearly not close, and Coop is curious what's going on. Gil tells him it's Bobby Rayburn's kid. They take pics of the kid, which is really weird.
Polaroid photos.
Gil calls Bobby from the car, and the cops are there to track it. Bobby asks him what he wants, and he wants a home run like the kid in Chemo. Yeah.
By the way, Coop clearly doesn't like Gil.
He doesn't even know who he is. He barely recognizes him.
Like, he hadn't seen him since they were kids.
And Gil thought Coop would be a manager in the majors by now.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that Gil's not all there.
But he's a pitcher, and pitchers use their brains.
He wants a photo of him with the kid to be on the Jumbotron. He wants them to tell the 50 million viewers this home run is dedicated to Gil. And I wrote, 50 million? Ethan Strauss just fainted. If the pitcher goes easy on him, he'll kill the kid. He wants him to earn it. Now do you care? He hangs up. Coop warns Gil about being in some serious shit with the cops.
Yeah, he says cops are going to be all over us. And I'm like, us? Since when is it us, yeah. Coop?
Gil problem, baby. Gil wants to pitch to the kid. Coop is catching. He's making Coop give him signals. The kid is starting to cry. Gil's trying to coach him up a bit. Coop throws it back over Gil's head. Gil runs to get it, and Coop tells the kid to run away. Yeah. He helps him up the fence, and then Gil beats Coop to death with the bat.
We were teammates, man. Could have made it to the bigs.
It was Little League. We were 12 years old.
I want to fuck you like an animal.
This is where I have some real questions about this song being in this movie again, because it says, I want to fuck you, as it shows the kid running in a rail yard.
Like an animal.
Yeah, he's down at the Caltrain station.
Gil is covered in blood. And he tries to grab the kid. Kid takes the knife out as it says, I want to fuck you. I want to taste you on the song.
Yeah, the kid flicks the knife out and he's impressed. He says, that's my boy. They said it. Oh wait, no, we already did that one.
Cops show up to Coop's work. They find the car. They find the pick. It's game time. And I wrote, wait, Jewel is doing her radio show from the ballpark at night now? They are always on.
Hold on, Zach.
On Sirius XM channel?
Again, Zach.
We're all.
If Sean Butler, if you were at the game and you had your laptop and your mic with it, Sean Butler said, Zach, can you hop on? Eddie Johnson can't make it. Would you say, no, it's Sean, I can't do it?
I would hop on.
Your ass would be right there, like trying to find a quiet part of the media, the press box or whatever. Like, tell them to shut up.
On Sirius XM NBA radio Thursday, Thanksgiving.
Me too.
I think. All right. Gil calls in, says she's lucky to be in the stadium. They hear his watch. They identify Gil. Says Bobby is ungrateful and should be taught a lesson. Bobby strikes out. Cops are frantically looking for him. Bobby then hits a home run, but it's robbed. It's starting to rain. Cops recognize the knife. It's the bottom of the eighth now. Bobby comes up to the plate. Manny says Bobby is as safe as Kennedy was in Dallas. And I wrote, JFK and Schindler for Manny. Move over, Dennis Miller. A new sheriff in town. They're intentionally walking Bobby. It's pouring rain. It's not just pouring rain. That's not a great game.
It is
torrential.
It is dumping rain.
And this is not the World Series, so why are they not calling the game?
Great question. He's still throwing intentional balls. Now they go to a rain delay. Cops are talking to Gil's kid, asking about where he and his dad like to go. Kid talks about a Little League ballpark.
Stadium in the sky.
The field is nothing but mud, and they're resuming the game. I mean, it's basically a puddle out there. Bobby walks out to the mound to confront the pitcher. He threatens him. Jewel runs down to the field area for some reason. I don't know what the fuck she thought she was going to do. Bobby swings and misses. He misses again. The rain comes down again. There's so much rain. I wrote, there was less rain in the Jurassic Park T-Rex scene. Home plate's a lagoon. They're still playing. He's going to have to swim to first if he hits it. He crushes it off the wall. Bobby's going for an inside the park home run. He's safe, but then he's called out. The umpire's yelling at him. Bobby sees it's Gil, and he punches him.
What a twist!
It's an awful call. Back then, they really needed replay for this one. Bobby tackles Gil, and as he goes to the ground, he's stabbed through the shoulder. And I wrote, how sharp are these fucking knives?
I mean, he's just got so many.
It's just so good.
What's stronger, like Bobby Rayburn's shoulder or a car door?
I wrote, this movie could have been called Knives Out. John Kruk gets killed on the field.
He gets his throat slit so fast.
And he's just laying there for the duration because no one tends to him. Bobby has a bat. Gil has a knife. Everyone's circled around them. Cops on the field with guns trying to figure out how to shoot Bobby. De Niro. Gil says his son must be in the big stadium in the sky. Gil says to be nice to him. Bobby asks what he wants. Says to show him his best pitch.
I felt like that was the first part of this movie. That's a little cheap. Like to say he's in the big stadium in the sky, which we all know means like he's dead, basically. But turns out there's an actual place called the big stadium in the sky. I was like, not cool. I wasn't amused.
Okay, so that's where you draw the line.
Yeah,
you weren't amused. Okay.
Gil walks to the mound, sees himself on the jumbotron. He has a knife in his hand.
Now do you care?
Just a little bit. Goes to throw the knife, and cops light him up. The guy getting shot looks nothing like De Niro. He looks like Tillman Fertitta.
Simple thank you would have been nice.
Yeah, Curly's on the ground. Bobby asks him where his son is. Curly's last words are, a simple thank you would have been nice. Authorities, with Bobby going in first for some reason, bust into the stadium in the sky, and they grab Sean.
And this is where the shrine with the newspaper clippings and the hanging helmets and the creepy bobbleheads and then just a shitload of knives are.
So I wrote this. Would the game broadcast have shown Kruk getting knifed and the cops shooting Gil?
That was the instant replay.
That was inside the park. The Jumbotron.
Slipping in Gil's place showed an article about him winning the Little League Championship with a home run. I wrote, I thought he was a pitcher.
And it zooms in on his eyes again, which is the same way that the credits started.
Yeah, a lot.
And he's described on the news as Gil Renard, an unemployed knife salesman, which is accurate, but that just cracks me up.
All right, little trivia. Wesley Snipes originally wanted to play the role of Gil Renard.
Jack Nicholson turned down the role of Gil. Al Pacino was considered for the role of Gil. And Brad Pitt turned down the role of Bobby because he wanted to play Gil.
Yeah, originally in the book, Bobby is white.
First of all, it's great that they picked a black guy to play because that makes it way more believable. There's no way anyone would be that upset and murderous over a white player who they felt like wasn't.
What if it was set in Boston, I mean?
Oh.
No, exactly. The player has to be black.
Has to be black.
Right? Because only a black athlete would bring out that kind of vitriol and death threats and accusations of, love the game and shit. Yeah, like exactly. Like that he killed Primo. Like all of that needed to be a black athlete. However, now you got me wondering what Jack Nicholson as Gil Renard would have been like.
It would have been like The Departed.
Attaboy, Bobby. Or what was that? Al Pacino. Attaboy, Bobby.
Bobby, you got a great knife.
And a great ass. Jason Pellegrini's dad loves it up your
Let's see. Tony Scott turned down The Rock to direct this film.
Who did The Rock?
Michael Bay.
Oh shit, that's true.
Also set in San Francisco.
Yeah. Cal Ripken Jr. was Wesley Snipes' personal batting instructor during the film.
That's pretty cool. But, Wesley Snipes, let me tell you something. Like, this dude didn't play any of these sports. Like, he learns these sports for these movies. And I'm like, he might be quite possibly the greatest athlete ever.
Ever heard of Michael Jordan?
What has he acted as other than
Space
himself?
Thank you for recognizing me as an actor/athlete and not the other way around.
Well, I mean, it's Wesley Snipes. Who's a classically trained actor. I mean, I don't think he gets enough credit for, like...
He's good.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good actor.
His movies in the 90s, like, they're legitimately good. Passenger 57's a banger. Always Bet on Black.
Cal Ripken also was a consultant and had lunch with Robert De Niro, with De Niro asking him about the Red Sox fans, and De Niro was listening to an audio tape of Robert Bardo, who was a stalker that later murdered model Rebecca Schaefer and stalked her for like 3 years.
I'm surprised he didn't do any homework on Monica Shellis, the person who stabbed her, who was a ridiculous...
Shellis?
It's pronounced Shellis.
Shellis.
No. It's one of those things. It's like people who say Goran Dragic. No, it's Dragic. Shellis. Look it up.
Shellis is what you do in Mario Kart. In some countries, the movie was released around the same time as the similarly titled The Van, which led to a lot of confusion at ticket offices.
Especially when, the opening scene is him driving a van. Like, you think
you really think like you're in the right movie.
Yeah, you got it right.
Mike Piazza was turned down for a role in this movie. John Kruk, I'm assuming he was Kruk, yeah. John Kruk, a longtime player I knew him for the Phillies, but he was Padre as well. He was critical of the production in several pre-release interviews, stating that while he liked Wesley Snipes, he couldn't swing a baseball bat in a remotely convincing way, and that Tony Scott knew nothing about baseball and made no effort to learn. When Kruk pointed out to Scott that the film's presentation of rows of books in the dugout was totally ridiculous, Scott told him to go away, and he ignored it.
I actually thought Tony Scott made baseball seem kind of interesting. Like, I thought he shot those scenes well, so I kind of disagree with John Kruk here.
Yeah, John Kruk, turns out you don't know shit about making movies. How about that?
Wow.
Last thing I got that I thought was funny, because we'd already talked about how the beach house was in Malibu, and there were comparisons to Barry Bonds. The average shot length of the movie, 3 seconds. Cut. Yeah. There's so many, like, 1 second shots, like, of the crowd in the stadium and stuff like that. Like, Tony Scott shoots a bunch of cameras all the time and constantly is cutting between shit.
That cannot be real.
It's the average, though. It's
the average.
All right. I'll believe you on this one. I'm going to go back and check.
Yeah, you rewatch it with a stopwatch.
What's your stop cost?
All right, no Tony medley because it's from 1996.
Golden Dumpster nominees: Bobby Rayburn's Pork Pie Hat, Garrity the Knife Salesman in Desperate Need of Anger Management, The Offended Scalper, Flicking Open a Pocket Knife, The Old Woman in a Stanford Hat, Paul Herman the Process Server, Gil lying about how he knew Mick Jagger, John Kruk getting murked. That's what I got.
Oh, no, Jason Pellegrini's dad.
Nice.
Easily.
Mace, what's your Golden Dumpster?
It's Garrity, man. Like, I honestly missed him from the second half of the movie. Like, he brought it in every scene he was in.
Who?
Gil's boss that fires him.
Oh, the boss.
Who stabs the car door.
Yeah, he's great. Mine's got to be John Kruk getting murdered at his job. I think that's it. That's got to be it for me. Time for Phobe or File. I picked it, so I'll start. I've loved this movie for a long time. I hadn't seen it in a long time. I continue to love this movie. This isn't me just liking things that I pick. Like, I legitimately love this movie. It's a strong File.
So you basically admit that in the past you have just been picking things.
No, but I know what the accusation is, and I don't. I pick movies that I think I'm going to enjoy, and then, oh my God, I enjoy them except for 2.
Now do you care?
Amin?
I won't lie, man. I liked this movie the whole way through. Like, there was no part where I was bored or looking up porn or anything like that. So it's gonna be a file for me.
God, our standards are so low these days.
Would I watch it again? And Amin says I wasn't watching porn during it. Oddly enough, you didn't watch porn during Showgirls.
I was watching porn.
Maze?
I really enjoyed the first half for sure. I thought it was well made. It was nice to watch a movie with a real director and real actors again. It definitely got a little weird down the stretch, and it did kind of lose my interest, but it's still a file, and that makes it a sweep.
Yeah, sweep it, motherfucker.
I want to fuck you.
I'm closing in on you guys now for positive sweeps.
Attaboy, Bobby!
Next time we make love, you introduce me to Jade.
So now it is my pick, and deliberated over this for a while. Thought about choosing a movie that Tony Medley has reviewed. Thought about choosing a movie that came out this year. Thought about choosing a classic comedy that I enjoy, which, you know, that route has always worked out for me. If I pick a comedy that I like.
Oh, you get that? You exactly get that feeling in the pit of my stomach. I'm going to hate this.
But I'm going to go with a movie that I've never seen before.
This never goes well either.
That's not true. Johnny Be Good was a banger. Last Action Hero on Stars.
Oh! Wow!
It's a great movie.
Well, I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's on Stars, so I think I might actually have to get Stars.
How do you not have Stars yet?
I think this is it, man. I think every movie that I look up is also on Stars.
Okay. Yeah, you got to get it. Just expense it. At this point, it might cripple the company with how many rentals you got to expense, but you got to do it.
So there you go. Last Action Hero, 38% critics, 47% fans. Starring Arnold, our first Arnold movie.
Oh shit!
You know what I realized the other day? I was looking at I sent the link to our Cats episode to someone, and when it sends, it shows you the artwork, and we've got some faces here who we haven't watched movies of. Like, we put Amy Schumer in there, and like
we put Amy Schumer in there. You put Amy Schumer in there.
I didn't put Amy Schumer anywhere.
Is this what we're doing? We're just lying now?
We got Amy Schumer. We got Marlon Wayans. He's been in one movie. We've got Nick Cage and Travolta. Okay. And then I think that's Steven Seagal. We haven't done a Steven Seagal movie either. Is that Steven Seagal with the sunglasses on?
40% is what Bobby Rayburn batted during his hot streak. So,
at what point do you think the fans decided, all right, this dude's smashing right now, we can no longer call him a suspected murderer? You have to win the pennant for that?
The Giants win the pennant.
Knowing fans? No, not even.